whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hook of force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā ko nā whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody, gather up close everybody. Kani move that body, kani move that body.
Kei aku kōkō tataki, kei aku manu ti ori ori, tēnā rā koutou ēnei te manu o Taringa. E waiata atu nei, e mihi atu nei, tēnā koutou katoa, nau mai hoki mai ēnei ki te punua pāho o Taringa. Tēnā koutou.
Tēnā koutou.
Coming at you from the bustling metropolis of Te Awamutu, i raro i ngā manaakitanga a te wānanga o te roa, me ngā mihi whakamānawa ki te māngai pāho, me irirangi te motu.
Tēnā koutou katoa.
Tēnā koutou. Me ngā whakaaro aroha kia Erika, kāri i konei i tēnei wā, hoi anō, kāriro mā māua, me ki mā tāua e tai, te Māori o Taringa, e pupuru, e whāngai, e hāpai.
Kia ora.
Nā runga i tērā kia huri tāua ki tā tāua kiwaha e tai.
Ai.
Nā, whakaaro nei au ki tētahi kiwaha o mua, kāore i te tino rangona i nā ēnei.
Ai, kai pai.
Ko te atakoia.
Atakoia. Ai, e mea hau tēnei kia hau.
Atakoia.
Ki te āta whakaro, hiaha rānei te tikanga o tēnei, atakoia.
O kei au tētahi tauira, māku e pānui ki a koe.
Ai.
Ana ko pare rāwa ko rangi. Me mihi au tēnei pukapuka hea kohinga kiwaha.
Kia ora.
No manu atu tēnei pukapuka, and if you've got a copy, you are very, very lucky. Hoi anō anei tēnei kiwaha e te iwi, e te whānau, anei tā ko pare kā mea, me pōwhiri pea a mea ki tā tātou hui. Kā mea rangi, kua mate kērā, kā mea pare, atakoia. Ne?
Roto i taua horopaki rā, ne? So geez,
by jingos.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Atakoia, nā wai kui meke. Oh, bloody hell, who punched you? Yeah, and then o pare goes, nā kore noiho i whara noiho i au e purei krikiti ana.
So the first context would be like, oh gosh, a surprise.
Yeah.
Atakoia, heck, who smacked you in the eye?
Yeah, oh, heck.
Yeah. Well,
hell! E te iwi, do not get this kiwaha mixed up, because koia is in there, ne? And koia is agreeance to something. Yeah, it can be right on, absolutely, koia. But atakoia, when you use atakoia, and it's spelled A-T-A-K-O-I-A, but how you say it is atakoia.
Ka pai.
You don't just say atakoia, and then we all know ko te reo o te kiwaha, he mea nui te piki me te heke o te reo, intonation. Te wai te hā o te reo, te hau o te reo. Atakoia.
Kāre he tohu tō te ātuatahi?
Atakoia.
Atakoia. Ka pai, because I could have easily presumed that it was, that's it. When using koia, atakoia, ohorere, atakoia.
Yeah. So that'll be on a 1, bro, you reckon?
Yeah, I think, be a 1. Yeah.
Probably a 1 for somebody that's just using it as a drop-in standalone kiwaha. But sitting still a 1, 2 if you put it into a sentence.
Yeah, you could probably say it as a 2. Atakoia. Nice. Atakoia, it's already made.
Ka pai. Nō reira, e taimā anei a Tikanga 101.
Ka pai.
Nā runga i te wairua o a tāua kōrerorero e tai. I mahara ke au, kia kōrero rā tāua, o tira kia wānanga rā tātou. Ko tā koutou wānanga he whakarongo mai kia māua, tō koutou wai marie. Engari, ko tēnei Tikanga 101 e pāna ki te whakapapa.
Kia ora.
So we're going to be talking about whakapapa today, and this is quite a broad kaupapa.
Absolutely.
So e kōrero ana māua mo te whakapapa, and we will be looking at some tikanga.
Kia ora.
To do with whakapapa. And how whakapapa, what's a magical thing, whakapapa?
Absolutely.
In connecting yourself to people and ourselves to each other and ourselves to the unseen realm.
Kia ora.
Ne, te wāhi ngaro. And our environment from a whakaaro Māori, from a Māori perspective. So koenei tā tātou kaupapa I te rānei ko te whakapapa. Now I know e tai, ka rongo ana e tahi te kupu whakapapa nei.
Right.
Whera I te o ka koroua. You know, he'll say to me, oh boy, I don't know all that whakapapa. And then, tamahi rattles off to me, oh, such and such married such and such. And
yeah,
your koro's cousin, da-da-da-da-da. But his perception, I guess, of whakapapa is a manuscript or learning whakapapa that goes all the way back to te kore me te pō.
Big as pātai,
So on the ground level, you know, on the roots level, whakapapa is whanaungatanga.
Absolutely.
And your connections to your whānau. Koira te whakapapa. What do you think of when you hear the word whakapapa?
Probably a lot of things that you already touched on there, Tai. But yeah, it is perspective and an understanding of where you are in the whole scheme of things. And the wider cloth of whakapapa, the wider kākahu of whakapapa, you know, we are one of the strands. And, you know, to speak from a personal perspective, it's quite liberating, you know. It's the more you dig, the more you find out things. I find it really liberating. And actually, when we talk about it often on Taringa, it's very hard not to whakapapa to anyone in te ao Māori. Actually, I would say that you can whakapapa to everyone in te ao Māori.
Tika.
Mena he whakapapa Māori. And if we, you know, ka hāngai ki tō tātou whakapono Māori, ko tātou, I heke mai nei ngā atua. Kamatu ko ngā atua, ko tō tātou tai ao tēnei. So we have interbeing, that's where I'm getting at with this kōrero of mine.
Yeah, and just picking up e tai tō kōrero mo te fabric of whakapapa or genealogy, connections and being a strand. And, you know, if we look at ourselves as a strand, we're in fact but a gossamer of that strand.
Kia ora.
Nera.
Gossamer kupu hou.
I roto I tērā fabric, and it's infinite.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm always coming across different tūpuna, learnings, I au e ako ana I ngā whakapapa, and a lot of the time I'm learning about not just the connections. Your whakapapa is so important. Yes, it's koia o whanaungatanga ki ngā tua, ki o whanaunga, ki o huanga. Also, ko ngā whakapapa ki te tai ao.
Kia ora.
So I'm always learning, you know, there's just a never-ending story. I roto I te whakapapa.
And, you know, to put it to another part, from a scientific point of view, as they say, that we're made up of the same things that stars are made up. You might see it as a bit whioke, but buzzy. However, it's another sign of our interdependence or our coexistence or our symbiotic existence, you know. It's, to get a bit up in the air with that whakaro.
He aha e tehi o nā tikanga e mohio ana koe e pāna ki te whakapapa.
Pai tēnei pātai e timatanga mā tātou. There's a few tikanga that I am aware of. I think we've talked about it as well throughout Taringa. So one thing, say if you were to recite whakapapa, ki te taki whakapapa koe, i runga I te marae, kia hau nei, me kaua e tō tika e heke ki a koe anō.
Kia ora.
That's one thing I've come to understand. And also, whanaunga from Tauranga Moana, Just Te Kani mentioned it on social media, which a lot of us agree to. It's one of probably the 101s, I would deem it so. One thing I understand is that kei te whakahua koe I a rātou mā, ne? Te hunga ko mate. And one things I come to learn is te ka waiho te mate ki te mate. And also to sort of whakapapa to yourself e hanga whakahihi, ne? Ki taku mōi e hanga whakameremere. So ki te taki whakapapa, pai ake kia taki taira no ki tētahi wahanga o taua whakapapa, e mōhia te ana kei reira hoki tō hononga. Yeah, so that's one thing I like to encourage people to understand. If you are to do your whakapapa to explain who you are, you don't have to go, ka heke ko au. You don't need to say that. Yeah, and a few other things. When talking whakapapa, you know, ka hoki ki ngā kōrero, te wharehuia, ia e noho ana ki wainganui ngā kaumātua e kai ana, ka timata tētahi ki te kōrero, mo tētahi wahanga o te whakapapa, ka ki ake te kai kaumātua, kei te kai koe I o tupuna. So, you know, having food and whakapapa, the same thing as tapu with whakapapa. And so I only even know of kaumātua in the Hokianga, everyone had their red books, ne? There's a red book, some whānau and iwi have a red book, and kei rotora, ko ngā whakapapa moe rātu kōrero, they wouldn't have it on the table, they'd have it a blanket or a whāriki and put it on the ground in the lounge or somewhere. But, you know, just those things, keeping it separate from kai and areas. I know one missionary wrote about how a kaumata lent him a manuscript, but he told him to meet him at the window of the room in which the book was situated because he had to pass through the kitchen. So, you know, those are some of the things that, kei a koe te tikanga, hoi no koina e tahi whakaro, hei whakarotanga mā tātou. Yeah, koe rai e tahi.
Kia ora. And, you know, just to make it current, you know, I think like, heri te koe ki au, you would have whakapapa on your laptop. So this is me, and I know we've touched on technology and tikanga. So I've got whakapapa on my laptop, but as far as I'm concerned, when my whakapapa that I have in my digital files on my laptop, when they are not on my screen, then they are stored away. Ne, ana ka whakatapuhia e rā, i roto i oku whakaro, kei te noho e rā whakapapa ki tō rātou kāinga.
Kia ora.
Now, when I open those whakapapa, I'm doing them in places where I feel safe, or I feel right i roto i tōku ngākau, to be looking at those whakapapa. You know, I'm just trying to find some comparisons to manuscript books, because I'm the same with the books and things. But a lot of our whakapapa we have these days is sitting there digitally, and that's just having a respect for, you know, e rā whakapapa.
Kia ora, kia ora.
What about this, e tai?
Yeah.
Hea, pewhia tēnei kia koe. Tāua tahi, he whakapapa Pākehā o tāua.
Ai.
Ka pērā no o tāua whakaaro tapu nei ki o tāua whakapapa Pākehā. I've just recently been researching my groin side.
Ai.
And yes, it's really interesting how we sort of have some set of tikanga for, wow, i te mea he Māori, whakapapa Māori.
Ai.
Engari, I didn't feel that same tapu applying to my whakapapa Pākehā when I was looking at it.
Tika tau, I had the same whakaaro when researching my Snowden side. However, when I had the documents, they all sit in their own reciprocals, you know, in their own areas. So I think the practice, ko Māori ke taua ritinga.
Yeah.
My tikanga of the books that I got and the manuscripts, because ko te mea māngari ki au nei, no mua noa atu te whakapapa Pākehā, ko whakatongia ki roto i te puka ne, ko tuhia.
Ai.
So nā he māma ki te toro atu ki ngā whakapapa I he kene ngā whakapaparanga kei mua I a koe. But I still maintain that reverence. But yeah, I pērā hoki oku whakaaro. You know, taku tirohanga ki tērā whakapapa o tātou, me te whakapapa Pākehā. Yeah, I had the same things. However, I think my practice was already well embedded that I treated it the same ways. Because, you know, we go by to I think it's the power of 4 in terms of grandparents. So I've got a mea line and this line and this line, and I have them in their own kete. One, it's easier to reach out to, but 2, it sort of ended up being like, yep. E pai kia waihoa tēnei whānau ki tēnei whānau.
Kia ora.
Tēnei rārangi ki tēnei kārangi. Yeah, so maybe out of accident that it was like that. But nā, koina hoki oku whakaaro e ho.
What about, e whakaaro anau about giving and receiving whakapapa and requesting?
Kia ora.
Or seeking whakapapa, as many of our huanga, they want to learn, they want to know their whakapapa. So it's one thing when you receive. And when I mean receive, someone gives you a paper.
Yep.
I've still got a paper that was given to me. It's just a piece of refill that Auntie Ravina jotted on.
Aye.
I was 15. I've still got that piece of paper.
Kia ora.
So that was whakapapa that was given to me. It was my whakapapa. But she gave it to me. I didn't ask for it. And then there are occasions when I'm the person that's giving whakapapa to somebody. And, you know, ko tāku he ki a rātou, because it's a bit of a balance, because it's their birthright to their whakapapa.
Aye.
But at the same time, ko tōku ngākau e mea ana kia ki tērā tangata, tēnā kia tūpato tiakina, look after it.
Koia.
I'm not just willy-nilly in giving whakapapa out. So e whakaaro anau sort of where this conversations going on this tikanga of what if you're the person that is searching for whakapapa from someone.
Kia ora. I've just come to understand the meaning of discerning. And koina tētahi horopake hāngai ki taua kupu, to be discerning towards some people that, well, you know, koina hoki taku whakapono ki te wāhi ngaro, ne? Ko te whakapapa ka hua mai I roto I te wā tika. the time or the right person turns up and it's a time to give the whakapapa. And I'm like yours, and I'm taken back to what Te Wāta said in the Ngāti Pukiao episode, that who is he to be the gateholder of someone's whakapapa? He ori te pai ana ki tō kōrero, that it's everyone's birthright. Could also be our whakapapa, that we give it with some, not with conditions, however, ngā whakatūpato. So what I've just happened to have is and it just starts with a pepeha. Some of my whanaunga just want a pepeha, and koina he whakapapa tēnā. And I start with that. And then the thing is, if they show interest, they'll come back, or it naturally evolves. On the receiving end as well, I'm talking with another whanaunga of ours, and there's a part where I know he has the grey area, or a kōrero that could enlighten some of the grey area in this whakapapa that we share. And he said publicly too on Facebook, don't come to me for whakapapa, or just turn up randomly. We need to have a conversation, or he needs to know who I am, or he needs to know that I can drive the car that he's going to give me the keys to. And I respect that part, because he's been the kaitiaki of this kōrero from a revered tohunga of the Hokianga for some time now. And I said in time, and we had a good conversation that we'll sit together so he gets to know me. I'm lucky that he knows some of my whanaunga, so he's able to sort of make a call, so do his own vetting, because that happens, hey, Tai, you do a bit of vetting.
Oh, yes.
Yep, there's some vetting. Oh, who's this fella?
That's talking about being discerning. And I think too I know that exemplifies to the person that's receiving it the respect that is expected of them.
Aye, yep.
To be afforded to what they're receiving, and in due course they will hand on that whakapapa.
Kia ora.
And that experience that they had with receiving the whakapapa will be embodied in them when they hand that whakapapa on.
Kia ora, yeah, absolutely. And because I'm thinking of how that person acquired it, or what it took for them. Me manoa roa neha.
Ana.
Me manoa roa ro te tēnei mahi. You won't get everything at once, and I don't think you can, or you should.
Tika. Nei, whakaro ana hoki ki a tīmoti.
Ai.
And ka kia te rangihau ki a tīmoti. Kaua mau te whakapapa.
Ai.
We're talking about Sir Tīmoti, and he shared a kōrero with me, the late te rangihau, John Rangihau. Said to him, whakapapa is not for you.
Ai.
Ne? Now, this is interesting, and I think this comes down to the pū manawa, or the natural talents of people.
Ai, kia ora.
And, kare kore e mohi ana koe ki etahi, they've just got the mind and the brain and the ngākau for whakapapa.
Ai, koe ora.
Kua kaore o rātou reo. I had an uncle, kua ngaro taku uncle, te rangi noho o ratana ingoa, and he just had this pū manawa mo te ako i te whakapapa.
Kia ora.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And some don't, just knowing who their grandparents are and how they're related to their uncles and that, ka nui tēnā. And that's fine.
Nā, tika te hoa, to my whānau, I'm the person of whakapapa, but I am not. I don't think I am. I have an interest in it.
Yeah.
However, mo te taki whakapapa, e hara i au e rā pūkenga. Mo te manaaki, me te rangahau te whakapapa, ai. Engari, yeah, I know what you mean. They have this vision, because I need diagrams, or charts to see what the same. Or sometimes if I'm going to a hui and I think it'd be a good time to share some whakapapa, I sort of rangahau, I sit on it for the night to make sure that it's correct and something. But I know people that just turns it on like that, and we had some uncles like that, and not only could they tātai, but they could, hea tā tātou kupu mo te whakawhānui, he kupu motuhake mo taua mahi neha.
O e aua.
Yeah, ko te tātai he heke, ko ngā heke, and e rā atu ko ngā manga. Hey.
He tui pea,
Ai. And hoi no tāku he hiko. He hiko ne, just highlights of some whakapapa. But nā tika tau, some people just have it. And he mea nui tērā, kia rangona taua kōrero, ko tētahi kaumātou, mea ana ki tētahi kaumātou o tātou, you aren't the one for whakapapa. But what that does is sort of sets them on their path of their actual pūmanawa.
Yeah.
And being, because sometimes people, you have to be okay with that. And then the sort of, like I said, liberating again. Pēo whakaaro, ka pēnei te tangata, ke hau nei, he tangata whakapapa koe. Hoi no, he pehea rānei o whakaaro, hea rānei o whakaritenga mo te ako taki rānei te whakapapa.
Ki au, he māma, ki oku nei whakaaro, he māma te taki tētahi tātai.
Ai.
Kona ki au, ko te mātanga tohunga rānei ki te whakapapa e tae ane ia ngā tātai o ia tupunake i ngā tūpuna rānei, te tuitui ki te tātai.
Ai.
So it is a bit of a skill. Whakapapa really, I think, is telling a story.
Kia ora.
You know, those of you that really want to commit to learning whakapapa, ahakoa he tāne, ahakoa hoki he wahine.
Kia ora.
Instead of looking at it from the perspective of learning some lines and some names and things like that, look at it as a story.
Kia ora.
How are you going to tell the best story, represent that story verbally of genealogy near to an audience so they understand the connections?
Kia ora.
Because you want everybody to understand. They will not remember all the names that you rattle off or say, but they will remember how those names or those people, those tūpuna are connected. And I think that is best animated in how the person recounting the whakapapa tells the story of that whakapapa.
Kia ora, yep. That's a really good, pai tēnei whakaaro. People can see a big chart and think it's daunting because they've got to memorise. But pēnā he pū rākau, ka mutu ki te rangahau koe i ngā tupuna me a rātou mahi o rātou momo, ka titi nei ki te ngākau nei, ki te hinengaro.
Koia, I puta tētai kupu nui whakaharahara i a koe.
Ai.
Connection. So, kārere pai tō ako, if you have a connection, you're related to those, you're a mokopuna of that tupuna that's 100 years before you or even 200, but there'll be more connection there for you in telling their story and knowing that you're part of that story if you learn their story, some kōrero e pāna ki te rā tupuna.
Koia hoki.
Makes them more real for you. I don't know about you, but I roto i oku whakaaro, I've got this image of what Hoturoa, the captain of Tainui, look like.
Ai.
And every time I say his name, ka kite au I tana kanohi.
Cool.
E ai ki oku whakaaro.
Ai.
Ne? And, not so far back, but I haven't got photos of some of my tūpuna, say, from the mid-1800s. But this is what I imagine them to look like.
Kia ora.
Ne? Based on etahi o ngā kōrero e pāna ki e rā tūpuna. Ne? So, I think that's a help kia koutou e te iwi e ako ana I ngā whakapapa nei. Just a little to be discerning. Ko te whakatūpato I a koutou, and something I've said to my relations, don't start all the way back at te pō te kore and you can't tell me who your mother's brothers and sisters are. Hey.
Tika tau. Koina, yep.
If you look at that kupu, whakapapa is levels or layers.
Levels, yep. Tika e hoa.
Ne.
Yeah.
Look at your level first.
Yep.
And then go up.
And learn that level. Kei moi koro. Kei moia.
Yeah, I think he tikanga nui tērā.
Tikanga nui, ai. And like you said, mo te toku iti e rā whakapaparanga neha.
Ana.
Mo te toku iti te rā. And it shows too. I'm reminded as tētahi hui I reira wasi, neha. I reira tētahi kaumātua I te kōrero tērā, I te kōrero pēra ia, that there's a lot learning higher levels, which is okay. However, they don't know who their mokopuna are or their cousins are and stuff like that. So, that's an important thing to remember as well.
E whakaaro anau ki etahi e mohi anau. I know that many of our listeners, this will be a new topic, and then I know, kei te whakarongo mai etahi o tāua hoa, mārama pai ki ngā kaupapa Māori nei. Nō reire e whakaaro anau, if you've had any experiences of when there's been contesting whakapapa.
Ana, yeah.
Yeah, and how to negotiate those spaces. So this isn't about learning hea etahi taunu, hea etahi kanga. Engari, how to respectfully disagree, I guess.
Ai.
Me kirunga marae. Sometimes it's not in the marae. I went to a Kazi Chari.
Chari.
Chari ēnei, te Māori nei, was that tōrere? Anyway, ka pute etai koro I te marae. Then we went inside for a kai, and I sat with these three kraua nō reira, ko tētai kua ngaro, e mo e koro. Anyway, I te kōrero tētahi, kua muti ke a mātou kai. They were just sitting having a yarn, and a name came up. Well, Tētai koreua kei tērā taho tepu guys. Yo, bloody shit. Kei te tēnā. And the other one says, oh, whatever, boy. You know, these are 80-year-olds. But that's the other thing. Tātou tānema, you are opening yourself up on the marae if you're going to taki whakapapa. Be prepared if anybody challenges your whakapapa. Ne? Because there could be some differences there.
Yeah.
Ne? I think we're a bit maybe too PC these days because I've actually seen someone say just straight, not even wait till the whai kōrero is finished.
Yeah.
And say, kei te he tēnā, you know, as they're doing their whakapapa and correct them, or from their perspective, the whakapapa they were doing is wrong. So,
nā, he pai tēnei, you know, he taonga te rangahau. And because I've been in the situation too where ko te mea nui, e noha anō ki tainui no reira he pai ki au ki te ako in te whakapapa o reitu rau ko reipai neha. And ko ki te au i ngā momo e whā, e toru pia, seen different versions. So, kia hau nei, kei te rohe e kōrero ana au.
Ai, kia ora.
You know, ko whakamahia au rei. And ko tāku i roto i ngā huinga tainui, ko pēnei, hei ko pai te hurunui. Ana, marumahanga, reitu rau ko reipai, wera kōrero. It's more or less to show that, one, I've used the tainui version, or the Pei Te Hurunui Jones version, and if I was somewhere else in the north, I would use the taonui version.
Yes.
And he reke wera. You can still be wrong though. However, what I try to do is show that I've done my research via the kōrero of the area, and it's still whakapapa to me that connects me to that area.
Yeah.
But pai tēnei kōrero about being PC as well. There's quite the figure of speech where kia mātou, ko tēnei te whakapapa, kia wai.
Yeah.
He tika tēnā, he takunga rānei hea ki o whakaro.
I think e tika ana tēnā because that's your knowledge base, is what you've grown up with, what you've been told by your kuia, your koreua. Māwai rātau e whakahe.
Ai.
You know, nā rātau tērā kōrero tuku iho. Now, this is very different. E te, we don't be, you know, kawa e pōhehe, we're talking about whakapapa that is wrong. We're talking about variations. There's a big difference with whakapapa that's absolutely wrong. And
I want to say that's what you're going to come across as well. And some of it you're going to kei pāma mai koe. Something might come across and you may think that it's wrong, but it's part of the journey. Part of the journey, sorry to interject there.
No, pai, you know, ia koe kore ana mo te audience. Mohi anau, ka haere anau ki roto o ngaitahu, e whakaro anō rātou ki te whakapapa o rangi rā o ko papa.
Ai.
Ne? And that's the teaching of te whare wānanga.
Ai.
And then come down to a iwi level, talking about poraurangi and tau pōtiki, well, they've got another kōrero as well.
You
know, Ngāti Porou say this, Ngaitahu say this. I'm respectful of both kōrero.
Ai.
So, koina tētahi kōrero āwhina i a koutou.
And you know, what I've seen from the learned type is that they both acknowledge both sides. You know, to understand an argument is to know the rebuttal of the other, or to understand the other side of the kōrero.
Ana.
I think that's the beauty in it. I think, I roto i te rerekētanga, ko te kotahitanga.
Kia ora.
That's what I think sometimes in some uses of that. And also what I urge people to do, and a lot of people go in with an intention of te whakahe when they learn a whakapapa. They go, right, we're going to find the tuakana line. You know, koina tō koronga, if your intention is to rebuttal or to make someone wrong or something wrong, you're narrowing your view of that whakapapa.
Kia ora.
I think that's my thing I'd like people to understand is to take whakapapa in its entirety and its differences.
O ia koe kōrero ana e tai e whakaro anau ko tētahi o mātou koraua. He was on the Whakapapa Committee of Kingi Koroki.
Kia ora.
So he had a Whakapapa Committee.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall in those hui.
Yeah, it was called Te Rūnanga Whakapapa. Kingi Koroki. And they had representation of iwi on there. And I've read some of their minutes. It's really interesting reading. So they go to one of the hui I'm referring to, they ka haere rātou ki Ngāti Pikiao, ki Te Arawa. They deliberate. Not only on whakapapa differences, e.g. Who married who was the first wife of who.
Who is the first, yeah.
They also deliberate or wānanga narratives, ne? But how the kōrero goes, it's well minuted, is, i horopu tērā taha me tērā taha, engari i whakaaro nui tonu tērā taha ki ngā kōrero a tētahi taha. Yeah, so I think that's a good example when you've got this whakapapa committee that was going around in the 40s or 50s.
Wow.
And having these discussions and deliberations, he tauira tērā ki a tātou.
Ai. So hea tō rātou, hea te whaingo tēnei komiti kia whakatau i ētahi kōrero?
Yes, ki te whakatau i ētahi kōrero, ki te whakatau i ētahi whakapapa, i ētahi rehurehutanga. Ne? Now, I'm going to bring one up, because this one's close to me. It's the late Piri Shasha, ngā mihi e koro e te rangatira. He gave me some whakapapa about the mother of Mahinarangi.
Kia ora.
Ne, which is completely different to what everybody else says. Ne? And I used that, what he had given me, because he gave me the whakapapa to back it up, in a children's book that I wrote. And then my iwi trust board came back and challenged it.
Kia ora.
Ne, so we actually had a hui about it.
Oh, che.
I roto i taku iwi, I got called over and I took pakake with me because he pāpā ki aia, ki taha ki tana wahine, and we had this hui with the iwi because the popular whakapapa said this, but this whakapapa Piri had given me said something else. Now, ko te raru, kaore he tangata i tērā hui, hei tohe mai, hei taunaki mai rānei, hea i he ai te whakapapa i whakamahi e au, i roto i te pukapuka.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we do have these conversations, and I know, ki etai o koutou probably like, I'm not there, I'm not going to be having any of these conversations, but it just gives you a bit of an insight into the realm of whakapapa, te ao te whakapapa, and how much respect and tapu and mana there is for these whakapapa, that we have these wānanga. You know, this was about one name. Well, not just the name, about this tūpuna and where this tūpuna fitted in the story.
Kia ora. Hea koe I whakamahi ai I taua whakapapa?
You know I've always got a tētahi atu whainga. I wasn't stirring the pot, but I wanted to put it out there.
Kia ora, kia ora, kia ora.
Because I felt that if I used this tūpuna in there, it would generate discussion, and it did.
And it did, kia ora.
And you know, funnily enough, since then, I've found two, for want of a better word, cross-references e whakahua ana I tēnei ingoa.
Kia ora.
Yeah, so, koira tērā, bringing it back down.
Yes.
You picked up on something good e hoa e korona koe mo tētahi karaua no te hokianga. And he said, you know, I want to get to know you. I'm reminded of one of my karaua, he had some whakapapa. And one of my aunties, kua mate rawa, she would ring him up and say, oh, can I have this whakapapa? I've heard you've got this whakapapa. Now, he came into possession of these books through my kuia. Now, my kuia felt that there was nobody in our whānau since my karaua had passed when we were young, and my uncles had passed who would have inherited or looked after these books. And my kuia was very staunch to women do not handle whakapapa.
Kia ora.
Ka pai, nā, koutou e whakarongo mai ana, kaya koutou a koutou tikanga. But one of our other karaua, who was our big chief, Koro Tommy, he actually got my auntie, who I've talked about a lot on Taringa, Te Uru Whakarewa Auntie Uru, to copy one of the whakapapa books. And to me, that was a whakawātea. You know, he tohu tērā o te whakawātea tanga. Engari, there was still that, my auntie, in all humility, she just wasn't any wahine. Hoi anō, tērā kōrero tērā. So my auntie would ring up and ask to see these books, and my koroua would just not hang up but change the subject and say kao in a nice way. So if you want whakapapa and you know someone has some, and it is yours, you need to build that relationship with that person, go and see them, you know.
Yep.
Ahakoa and I know e rā whakapapa, have a relationship with that person.
But also in saying that, Ewa, that is part of whakapapa. If you can't get to know someone who is of your whakapapa, then what good is it knowing that whakapapa that they're holding on to if you're not willing to make that physical connection?
Ana.
You know, I think that's why ngā kaipapuri o te whakapapa, koina tō rātou karangātu ki te hunga, he hana ki te whakapapa, haramai ki te noho, koina te timatanga o te whakapapa.
Kia ora.
You know, to make those physical connections. And, you know, when you're talking about the digital use of whakapapa, I always like reading in my times of the latrine, ne? And I'm gutted because the things I want to read are whakapapa. But, we can't read them. Or, we're talking about our iwaia, our phones, what you have on there.
Yeah.
So be mindful of what you're reading. Or even on Facebook, kei a tātou, sharing whakapapa on there, and you might be scrolling and then ia koe mahi ana i tō mahi runga i te heke tō ka puta mai he te whakāhua o tētahi tūpuna.
Yeah.
Those are things to be mindful in this day and age of whakapapa.
Hoi anō te iwi koera e tehi kōrero, e tehi tikanga, hei arataki a koutou, whakaaro nui, things to ponder, reflect on, some self-deliberation perhaps, internal deliberation, e pāna ki nā āhuatanga o te whakapapa. I feel we could have gone on a bit more about this.
Yeah, wahanga tuatahi tēnei.
Aye.
Yeah, and it was a good thing, yeah.
Hoi no kia hure ki te waiata o te wiki, ēnei te waiata o te wiki, ko?
Ko tā tātou waiata e hoa, he iti nā mātai. Nei, kei roto i tēnei waiata he wāhi, he wahanga whakapapa. E kōrero ana mō mātai, mō tūrongo rau, ko mahinarangi. No reira, kia hau nei ko te hāngai tērā.
Kia ora.
Kani move that body.
Ka hoki ngā mahara ka rongo nei te waiata kua roa.
Kua roa e hoa, koe tētahi waiata e whakahihiko ana i te ngākau tēnei waiata.
Tika, ka ora taku ngākau te rongo i te waiata rā.
Aye.
And that's something else to wrap us up in our kōrero about whakapapa, how waiata.
Kia ora.
And there's a tip there, so I can post this waiata for my iwi, and anyone who wants to sing it can learn about the whakapapa of Raukawa.
And e hoa, koina taku māngari. Ko ora ai hau i taku ako i ēnei waiata nei. Ka haere i roto i te rohe pātai o Tainui. E mohi anau ki ētahi whakapapa. Kia whai hononga ki te wāhi e noho nei au.
Kia pai mai hoki.
No reira, koina te pai.
I think your kete mō tētea might be up to 20 mō tētea.
Yeah, well, me orite ki ngā mō tēte o te kāinga, ingari pai hera. me aku mōhirangi ki ngā waiata, ngā haka o maru tuahu. Hara mai.
O eno e te iwi, e mihi atu ana, tēnei a taringa, māua ko te pua heiri, kua rangatira i a koutou, me kore ake koutou.
Ai.
Me kore ake koutou, nei te mihi ki a koutou, e te iwi, hei kona mai rā.
Hei kona, kia ora tātou.
Bit mai ki au Whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako Kōrero flowing at the hooker force Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds Kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount Nā ko nā whakapiri mai ki te Kaupapa tino whakahira hira Whakarongo pi kari kari mai Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai We gotta gather up close everybody Gather up close everybody Kani kani move that body Kani kani move that body
Taringa, he mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa, ā, nā te māngai pāho me irirangi te motu I tautoko. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Taringa, whakarongo mai.